If you turn on a Mexican soap opera, you might think you're in Europe or Beverly Hills. Blonde actors, blue eyes, luxury mansions. But is this actually Mexico? As a Mexican, I grew up thinking this was normal. I never questioned why the people on my screen look so different from the people on my street. Why is there such a massive disconnect between our reality and our image? Today, we're exploring the aspirational trap, a term that defines who gets to be the face of Mexican TV. Trust me, once you see what aspiration looks like in my country, you'll never see a soap opera the same way again. Mexican soap operas are legendary, full of drama, passion, and a lot of crying. But when you turn on a Mexican TV show, all of a sudden, it feels like two different completely worlds. Take Thalia, for example. You know her. Thalia became very famous around the world. In the Marimar era, she was poor, she has a dirty face, ripped clothes. When she becomes wealthy, all of a sudden, she has perfect hair, designer clothes.
¿Tiene usted un amigo súper millonario?
Exactamente. Y precisamente vengo de ti.
And she fits right into this world where, surprise, surprise, everyone has white skin color. This is just an example. Scroll down any streaming platform and you'll realize there's thousands of soap operas where you'll see that the main characters or all the people have a light skin color. But then I step out my home, I look at my neighbors, I walk around downtown, and wait a minute. People here don't look like the soap operas. In the real Mexico, many people have dark skin, dark eyes, and dark hair. You've probably wondered yourself, what is going on here? But this isn't just about TV. It happens everywhere. This is a billboard for a private school near my hometown. They want to attract new students for the school. But what surprised me here is the kids. Check out the kids. White skin color. They look nothing like the actual people around that town. A town where, again, the majority of the people look like me. This got my attention so much that I literally had to stop to take a picture. The contrast hit me even harder when I visited my husband's town in the UK. We were walking down the street and I saw a similar ad for a private school on his town. This is the most shocking part. The ad was exactly the opposite from the ad that I saw near my town. The poster showed diversity, kids from different backgrounds. The irony was huge. In a small town in the UK, they celebrate diversity. But in a small town in Mexico, they showed white kids to a small population where the majority of the people look like me. And it's not only me noticing this. If you go to Reddit and if you go to the Mexican group or Latin American group, there's many people asking this. Let me read one of these posts that I found on Reddit. It says, why are actors from soap operas white? I'm from African descent. This is something that bothers me so much, and I wanted the opinion from Latinos because all the actors from soap operas are white in places with so much diversity like Mexico or Colombia. It's almost impossible seeing a black person in a Colombian soap opera. All the actors from Mexican soap operas are very white, and that hurts so much because that doesn't represent the reality from these countries. It's obvious, don't you think? Let me show you more subtle examples too. If you're Mexican, you'll agree with me. And if you are familiarized with Mexico, you'll probably know this. Many Mexicans don't like to get burned by the sun. Sometimes we're hiding on the shades because the sun can be really strong here in Mexico and it's not healthy sometimes. But let me tell you that sometimes I hear phrases like, I will get darker if I'm too much under the sun. I've said it in the past. And I'm guilty. And it doesn't only happen in Mexico. When I was living in Vietnam, I remember women covered themselves from head to toe when they were riding their motorbikes because they didn't want to get burned. They wanted to preserve their white skin color. And in Europe, it's the opposite. They want to be tanned as much as possible. I remember I went on a tour to Pompeii in Italy. It was summer. And if you've been in Italy in summer, you'll know that the sun at that time, it's really, really strong. It's very hot. So I bought an umbrella. I was wearing an umbrella because in that archaeological site, it was very hard to find a shade or to be under a shade all the time with all that sun and heat. Well, an umbrella was perfect for me. But what surprised me is that in the group where I was taking the tour, nobody was wearing even a hat. I'm pretty sure they wanted color, and I just wanted to protect myself from the sun. I remember it burned my skin, and I can imagine how it burned their skin too. Seeing them looking for a tan made me think about us in Mexico. In Mexico, we're fortunate to have sun almost all year round, and many people try to avoid it if possible. It can be because you want to take care of your skin and you want to protect it, or because you simply don't want to get your skin darker. It's a strange irony. While many Europeans are looking to be as tan as possible, many Mexicans are taught to look at our skin as something to protect. This is something that blew my mind. But is it really true that in Mexico there are more brown skin color people? According to government surveys from INEGI, the National Statistical Agency, the vast majority of people identify themselves as having brown skin color. Do we really need a scientist to tell us what is happening in front of our eyes in the soap operas? According to academic investigations, like the ones from Colmex, UNAM, and UAM, there is a name where your skin color determines your social status and opportunities. In a Pigmentocracy, the main character, like in a soap opera, has to have a lighter skin. These studies reveal that the skin tone is directly connected to the level of education and financial position. I already talked about this in another video that I'm going to leave up here if you want to know more about this topic. It's very interesting and it was very polemic too. Click there. After watching this video, understanding these layers of Mexican culture is only possible by speaking the language and living it, not only what you learn in books. That's why in my Spanish Academy, Thrive in Spanish, I offer a Spanish conversation club with me and other native Mexican teachers where we discuss Mexican cultural topics and historical topics in Spanish with you as if we were friends. Every week, in a group of no more than 5 people, in Spanish, we talk about these topics. If you're learning Spanish and if you're at an intermediate or advanced level, this conversation club is for you. But wait! If you want to learn Spanish, I also offer private classes and courses so you can start joining this incredible path of learning Spanish and Mexican Spanish. Check out my website, thriveinspanish.com. I'm going to leave the link in the description, and I'm sure you'll love it. See you there. I wanted to understand how the media industry justifies this. And I found something really interesting that kept popping up. It's called aspirational advertisement. While doing some research on internet about this topic, I found a term that models and actors know very well. AAA profile. This term basically represents professionalism, expertise, and physical presence. This doesn't have anything to do with having light skin color or looking European. I'm going to Google models AAA profile Mexico and let's see what the internet thinks aspiration looks like in my country. The first thing that I'm looking here is Edecanes AAA or models AAA. All of them have light skin. Let me go to other pages. Some of them look a little more tanned. There's a section here that says skin color. I selected dark skin color and there are only 3 women. I still see the majority of the people with light skin. There's 1 black person. It might be just coincidence. Let me be clear. Mexico is a beautiful melting pot with an incredible diversity. We have Asian, European, African, and indigenous roots, and that is what it makes our culture so rich. I'm not saying that light-skinned Mexicans aren't Mexican enough or that they don't belong here. I'm just saying that the media isn't showing the reality of Mexico. In a country of many colors, why does our media act like if we only have one? Nowadays, I think people are noticing this, but in videos I've made in the past, I received comments from my fellow Mexicans saying, "Tienes el nopal en la cara." For those who don't know, this phrase in English means you have a cactus on your face. They say this phrase because they would try to say that I look very indigenous. They were saying it like an insult. And the most shocking part is that when I would go to their profiles, their profile face was a brown skin color person just like me. I was confused. How were they different from me? How could they not see it? This was internalized racism. Now, just to be clear, I'm not saying that lighter skin color people don't receive bullying or discrimination. What I'm trying to say here is that brown skin color people mock their own appearance and color skin in others. This is a real example. Fortunately, these comments don't affect me anymore. But it wasn't always like that. They used to affect me when I was younger. But things are changing, finally. We all know Yalitza Aparicio for her incredible acting at the movie Roma. She's a perfect representation of many Mexicans. And little by little, that phrase that used to be so popular, mejorar la raza, is fading away. Have you heard that? In English, it literally means improves the race. It was a very famous phrase in the past that meant if you're a dark skin color person, have children with a lighter skin color person, so your children are lighter than you, and you're improving the race. This is a phrase that people in Mexico used to say it in the past. Probably myself as well. I don't remember, honestly. I think I blocked that. But luckily, new generations in Mexico are looking at this like, this is stupid aspirationism. Just to be clear, this situation exists in Mexico, but it's very different compared to the USA. We don't have a history of segregation, and we don't typically attack other people just because they look different. I believe this is internalized racism, the kind of racism that made us think that seeing only white people in soap operas was normal. The kind of racism that made us think that saying phrases like, I want to improve the race, was accepted in our culture. Or the kind of thoughts such as, I don't want to be under the sun for so long because I will get too dark. And we thought it was normal too. Breaking these cycles isn't about hating anyone or being anti-white. It's about looking at Mexico just the way it is, a country full of diversity. And yes, the TV might be wanting to sell us a different world, a different Mexico, but the reality is that in Mexico, the majority of the people have a darker skin color, have dark eyes, dark hair, and we also have the cactus on the face. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a comment and subscribe to my channel because in this channel we talk about the real Mexico. See you in the next video. Bye.